Speaking of which, I thought we're gonna do some art today, some some art. But I figured today, before we get started with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about this video I keep seeing on my recommended page, on my recommended, uh, pretty pertinent topic to yours truly, and so this is a content creator named Antonio, by the name of Antonio Speaks. This is a pretty interesting. I feel like this might be a little pretty interesting video. I want to take a look at it real quick. I think this is pretty dope. I think that yeah, I'm gonna stumble about. I'm just curious about it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Nerds, aka blurs, is the topic of today's video. Now me, I consider myself a nerd, but some may not. So for example, I love video games. I've been playing them since the age of 7. I've always
I mean, my first video game was Sonic 2, and I ain't even looked back ever since.
loved sci-fi films,
Oh, wait,
consumed
that's
about every DC and Marvel comic. On the flip side, I'm not into anime. But
Now look here. No, I'm playing. Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of like other like black nerds that really don't watch anime or stuff like that. It's like, and that's fine. You know, do you. Like it's your own personal experience, not anybody else's. So that's all I gotta say about that. You know, like what you like. Like that's what I say.
growing up, I was very into films like Teen Titans, Samurai Jack, Avatar: The Last
All valid, by the way.
Airbender. So I guess to
Like every last one of those are super duper fun. A lot of people like really like do not like Teen Titans Go, and Teen Titans Go seems to not like them either, and it's still going to this day. That's crazy.
some, it would be debatable. So within the black community, especially growing up in the hood, being a nerd or just even consuming the culture will make you stand out. It goes against what's stereotypical for black people. This is a flaw within the black community.
Yeah, that is unfortunately true, especially for me growing up. Like in middle school, I feel like I'll tell you a little quick story. In middle school, it's like I knew I liked it, but I tried to hide it. It just seemed cool, but I didn't. But I was like, oh no, I wasn't like Naruto running down in the hallway like people like to say or whatever, or like trying to turn Super Saiyan 3. I wouldn't have to do none of that, but like, you know, I knew I liked stuff like things like Dragon Ball and stuff like that, like Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, things like that. But I remember in high school there was a cable channel called Colors TV, and what it did was they had this cable deal with Funimation. They would show like a couple hour block of anime. They would show like Dragon Ball and Lupin the Third and Detective Conan and like a couple shoujo anime, like the original Fruits Basket. Like, you know, it's all these certified hood classics. Like it's pretty wild. It's very interesting. But yeah, every time I talked about it, I was trying to draw, like in high school, I drew anime and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, speaking of middle school, it wasn't actually, no. I started like when I really started embracing a little more, like in middle school and high school. What I really did is I used to draw like these Sonic the Hedgehog comic books, which is ironic because I don't really get a bunch of like Sonic comics now. I used to draw them myself. Like I drew them and wrote my own stories. Like basically all my knowledge about the games up to that point. I think Sonic Adventure or Sonic or Shadow the Hedgehog came out and stuff like that. It's very interesting stuff, and I would love to have played it. There's a whole bunch, man. There's a whole bunch of stories I could tell about my experiences growing up nerdy and being black. But you know, of course, he did say that like you said, that it does make you like stand out, stuff like that. Cause oh yeah, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
Do not like. I say this all the time, but as black people, we are not a monolith, and we got to start respecting that within the community. I will say this though, I feel like in 2025, being a nerd is kind of cool. Let's say versus the 2010s or the 90s, it is most definitely more acceptable now.
I want to talk about how all of a sudden being a nerd is in, and we're erasing all of like that awful childhood stuff that happened to so many of us. Because now it's, oh, we weren't bullying y'all because y'all were into anime. We were bullying y'all because y'all stank, or y'all were always doing something weird. A few. A lot of y'all were bullying us just for being into different things. I went to many schools with other smart black kids.
She's not wrong, because, like, I remember in my theater class, that's another little fun fact about me, my little theater class. That take me back. There was an assignment we were supposed to do. We were supposed to, like, look at Lord of the Rings, and one of my other classmates, well, you like this? And we were like, we're just watching, like, the whole trilogy. It wasn't like the whole trilogy. It's like, you like this? You like this? You like this? It's like, yeah, so what? Like, I really didn't answer, but in my head, I was like, yeah, so what? I don't care. Like, this is fun. And that's process. But anyway, yeah, that absolutely made me fucking stand out, because we were always like a written test about it. Most of my classmates would come to me. What's the guy name? What's the dwarf's name? You know, you've heard it like a million times. There's like three whole movies we watched, and you still not like, oh, what's his name? What's his name? Like, stop, just stop.
I love to read, and I got the pants bullied off of me for liking to read in a smart school. I had my black card revoked so often, I'm pretty sure I'm still in black folk debt, because, like, I don't think I have one. White girl, whitest black girl I know, Oreo, wanna be white.
Yep. I got all that. That called me too.
All of it, all the time.
And I'll tell you, like, see, like, these new age black geeks, they would never understand how it was to be a black geek back in the 2000s and 2010s. Now, that was the trenches. Like, I consider myself a black geek activist because, bro, back in the day, bro, I had to defend my hobby. Like, y'all don't understand. The insults were crazy. Like, we would be talking about, like, normal, like, crap in front of everybody, and then, like, we would go home on our computer and be having discussions about anime with people online. Like, people don't understand. Back then, most of our anime discussions or geek discussions were, like, were on the internet. They were not in real life. Because if you even spoke about anime, like, you were about to get ostracized real quick.
Now for me,
Yeah, I can see it, cause it was totally like that for me too growing up. Cause not only did I do all my nerdy stuff, I also played football in high school too. Oh yeah, I played football in theater classes. Like, hey, I like to do things, man. Like, it's cool. Yeah, I wasn't like a full on theater kid, but like I never got to like do like a play or whatever, but like, yeah, but I like to do like, but then I spent my time to like, oh yeah, football and like my nerdy stuff, and like, you know, I would like go to a football practice, and then I go home and like read manga, or I remember a charter bus ride we were taking from our town to the next town to do a football game. It was like 2.5 hours. It was like, okay, I'll go ahead and just read this manga. Like, we're on the charter bus. We got all the time. We're on the charter bus. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, we would talk. I would talk about like anime with one of my classmates. We could talk till like from like lunch to like lunch till like the end of the day, talking about anime stuff, and then like, oh yeah, and then I ran an anime club in my high school, and then in college I was in like the anime club too, and I ran it for like a couple years.
me, y'all, I did not have these problems, and that's why I kind of think to myself, was I really a nerd, or am I really a nerd? But looking back, I was most definitely a nerd, bruh. This was me in the 10th grade. I mean, I had a 4.0 GPA, was in pretty much all AP classes, dog. I was
Yeah, I had AP art classes. Red Dragon MA had a very diverse life.
book nerd. The thing about it is, as a black nerd, you really just gotta find your group of people. And even just
that
being
is
a
true.
nerd in general, I hate this talking point because even nerds in the white community are done the same way. Like,
I got bullied for
Also
liking
true.
anime, and then I got bullied for wearing anime and an Avatar t-shirt, and like that I liked Pokemon, and that I carried a DS, and I was in bands. Like and I had braces, and I had glasses. There was just so many reasons, and I had short hair. There was just so many reasons to get bullied that like getting into Kingdom Hearts was another reason I didn't want to get bullied.
Don't worry, we're gonna make it. We've been looking for clues to find Clay.
Gear up with premium
Nah.
BJJ, MMA, and Muay Thai apparel
Not
designed
gonna lie,
for warriors who
I
train
do
hard.
like that those
Oh, I'm sorry. The clue board? You mean my clue board?
So all those nerds in high school, like the weird theater kids and the anime people.
Hi, weird theater kid, captain of the speech and debate team, anime fan.
You know who I'm talking about, the people we didn't hang out with.
Thank God for that, by the way.
So they've grown up now, and they're the ones making the laws. They're the Mark Zuckerbergs. They're the Faucis of...
I don't think that's the nah. And then this chick, like, who was the chick that like said slurs? Like, I don't know.
The world's of fucking nerds.
I hate to break it to you, but those effing nerds are not just the Mark Zuckerbergs and Fauci's. They're highly successful, influential people because it turns out hitting the books actually was helpful.
This isn't just a black thing. Maybe the talking points of, you know, you're acting white is that talking point. But as far as you getting bullied or looked down upon, it's pretty much the same way. Kids are mean. Like I stated, you have to find your people. And with me, I had a different group of friends for like pretty much every situation. Like growing up in the hood, those were like the hood friends. Then when I got to school, you know, me being in like different classes, I kind of met my nerd friends. So I had that group of friends, and I had my friends that was back in the hood. And also I played sports. I love sports. So, you know, I had my friends for basketball. The one thing I did deal...
Yeah, because I think that was me too on the low-key cool, because I had like, I had my football friends, the people who I could hang out with. Then I had like my anime nerd friends who I still talk to some of them to this day. And then I also had my friggin' who else did I have? I had a lot of different people I could talk to. So it's like, cause I swear in college, cause I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, and they would come straight to me and say like, hey, you remember me? You remember me? It's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, man, we had that class together, and this and that, and this and that. It's like, dude, I remember you? Like, It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, hi. And then we just reconnected instantly. They all like moved and stuff like that, or just like, or sometimes I would get this, I feel like I've known, when it's like I feel like I've known you for like forever. It's like, yeah, I get that a lot too. So yeah.
With though that I hated was me being labeled a game freak. Like I just love playing the game. I remember growing up, bro, like they'll come knock on my door for me to come outside. I'd be like, bro, I'm on a game and I don't feel like coming inside. Like, you a game freak, bro, get out. But I always felt like it was just like with love. Like they was joking, but it was with love. And I stated this in one of my second channel videos. I feel like the black community, our love language is joking. So, you know, maybe sometime these jokes were hurting your feelings, but it wasn't like meant in that way. This isn't justifying it, but that's my thought. Anyways, with them already having this backlash from the black community, in return they end up being very anti-black.
Like, it's not that I didn't want to connect with black people, but
I know that fella, they're cool.
But I didn't know any other blurbs that like Minecraft. And a blurb put me closer to whiteness, not because I wanted to hang out with white people, but I just wanted to hang out with that like Minecraft. Do you get what I'm saying? I just want to say it is incredibly dangerous to be in close proximity to whiteness no matter what. And the reason why I say that is because I think hanging around with people that like Minecraft and everything definitely ingrains some self-hating attributes to me. And it's not because of Minecraft, but it's the proximity to whiteness.
Within the nerd culture, there is not a lot of black representation. Just think about it. You're constantly consuming this media of people that don't look like you while receiving this hate from the people that look like you. That is going to turn into internal.
Yeah. It's not wrong, cause like there'll be times it's like there'll be times I'd be like some of the people would be like when I was in the anime club in college, and they'd be like you watch Naruto, you watch One Piece, you watch Naruto, or let's say like Naruto, they say that on purpose. They would do stuff like that, and it's like just to get on your skin, like you said earlier in this video, the kids are mean. It's like, you know, it's just weird. I don't know, man. It's just really weird.
Racism. And I say this all the time, but everything is a alt-right pipeline, and the nerd culture is no different.
Yo, what happened to the nerd community, bro? When did we become Republicans, bro? When did we become conservative? What happened? What happened? We don't like girl power now because it's the feminist agenda? You didn't like Kim Possible?
I saw someone say, when did the nerd community just become another avenue or pipeline for right-wing grifting? And the answer is simple. The same way that the gym community became just another avenue for right-wing grifting and right-wing content. The same way like dating advice stuff has just become another avenue for right-wing grifting. What does the gym community, the dating advice community, and the nerd community all have in common? It's full of lonely people. A lot of people in the nerd community.
That is true. It's a lot of people, like, you know, in the nerd community, like, you know, you, like, again, like I said, find your people, but there's a lot of people in like the nerd spaces who are just like really lonely and really looking for like really either they're lonely, or you know they're like they're uber lonely, or they got some stuff going on at home and they use like the internet to like do this sort of like escapism, or you know that you know you know they don't really have like they don't come from such a good home, or they don't have like the best social life, and I think that they just use the internet and online forums and fans as an escape. Cause like, you know, the internet, let's be real for a second, the internet basically has become like the third space. We talk, even though I believe there are those third spaces out there, but I also feel like, you know, the internet very much has become like the third space, for real, for better or worse. Cause I've met some wonderful, sweet people online. I've had great experiences like connecting with people online and stuff like that. And it's not always like that, and I don't think it's always like that. I'm very fortunate, and it's like other people not so much. And yeah, so I can definitely agree with what he's saying.
Community get into nerd shit because they're lonely. A lot of people start working out because they're heartbroken and they're lonely. A lot of people get into dating advice content because they're lonely. Lonely people are very easy to manipulate. If you find a lonely person and you tell them you're the victim, everybody else except you is the problem, now go buy my course, that's basically an infinite money glitch. That's why. It's just lonely people who
yeah, the old red pillars. Fortunately, a lot of that community has died of the most painful death. And a lot of that stuff is just like people like trying to like guys like these really bizarro weirdo dudes just like preying on people's insecurities to like push a victim complex. Like advocation is one thing, but like when you may turn to like a hate group, it's like bleh, it's just dumb. But yeah.
Brave acceptance and a sense of community are taken advantage of just in the way that cults do.
For more bedtime stories and savings, get the Flex Your Credits electricity plan from Reliant.
The world's first titanium nonstick pan. You can blow your hair back.
Nonstick pans.
Like it's really not that complicated.
Now the anti-blackness goes up another notch because a lot of black males in the nerd space feel like black women just hate them.
I'm curious to know if this is actually a thing. Black women will ignore men that look like this because he's weird, lame, nerdy, until he achieves success, then see him with a woman like this, and then all of a sudden label him a sellout. Let's be real, a lot of y'all don't like black women to begin with. Don't matter if you're a D1 athlete or a comic book nerd, there's a very small majority of black men that do not like black women. Now, why is that? I couldn't tell you. But at the end of the day, this argument right here could be a little bit valid if we're considering that there are unrealistic expectations for black men, especially young black men in this economy and in this world right now. And there is that stigma of hypermasculinity in the black community. This automatically would make nerds and simps unattractive, and certainly undesirable.
Black girls called you ugly? So do you want me to believe that the white girls called you handsome?
Once again, I did not experience this. This isn't to say it's not true.
Alright, trying to get a little candid here. You know, it's interesting. Okay, I didn't really have that problem because like I had like black girlfriends who like the anime too and like nerd stuff too. I could talk to them, stuff like that, and it's fine. Like at the same time, like, you know, me growing up, you know, asking girls out and stuff like that, and just kind of falls short. And that's another thing you gotta remember, like you're gonna get rejected a lot, and that's fine. You know, it's not indicative of your worth as a human being. But you know, for me, I think that I really didn't have that issue because I just really wanted to be friends with everybody. So like, there is that. Sure, I asked out people and got rejected, and that's okay, and that's fine. At the same time, it's like also like, yeah, I can see where a lot of the other videos are coming from.
But I just feel like it's the way you carry yourself. And also you just gotta find your like swagger, you know? There's a stereotype.
Also, that is also true. That is also true.
Type of like the smash bro type of hairstyle. Maybe your lips be crusty. In simple terms, man, you just gotta have game. White nerds go through the same problem while talking to white women. So like I hate that correlation as well. And I think what the problem is, a lot of people be holding on to what happened in high school.
Yep. I swear, there's a lot of people that I can talk to that sometimes I feel like they kind of like they really didn't like graduate high school. And I've heard that people have had the conversations like, oh, I wish I could go back to high school, I wish I could do it again, and I would do this differently and that differently and XYZ ZYX and etc. And like, yeah, I can agree, because I've had those thoughts too in the past, and yeah. But at the same time, it's just like, oh, I wish I didn't have to like do this and do that. And it was just so much easier and this and that, and you know, like it wasn't high school. Like, nah, high school's done and over. I've been out of high school for a long time, and I really don't think about it all that much no more. Like, it's like there was, yeah, sure, there was good parts. Like I talked about my time.
White nerds go through the same problem while talking to white women. So like I hate that correlation as well. And I think what the problem is, a lot of people be holding on to what happened in high school.
That is true. Okay, we'll say it again. That's very, very true. That I'm not gonna sit here and lie that I was immune to that, because for me, I experienced a lot of bullying, stuff like that. You know, people taking my clothes, people taking my food, taking my comic books and sports magazines, and it weren't Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. They weren't. They're like, hey, straight up just Sports Illustrated, or one of them Texas football magazines, and I would read it. And I would like to read it because it was like up to date and current stuff. Because I love playing football. Like there's a different time of me like playing football instead of being in like the martial arts. But yeah, also the other nerds like to bully me too, because in high school, we had a manga section that was about as big as my shelf over here with all my stuff. And so I take it upon myself, and I found this big encyclopedia, this big thick encyclopedia of like 300 different manga, and like using that and my own knowledge at the time. So I started working with the librarians and making like lists of manga to get, and they would get them. And one of those was Lucky Star. And so because Lucky Star immediately became a favorite anime, because I went through a very depressive episode in high school where I was a very depressive episode in high school where it was like, oh man, I was like this and that and this and that, and then I found Lucky Star, and I became enamored, and this is the anime that got me hooked on anime, and I have this to thank. Ooh, excuse me. And I was very lucky enough to meet Michelle Ruff and Kari Wahlgren at WeebCon this last April. And I ended up talking to them about Lucky Star, and I told them the story, like, aw, and they loved it. And I remember when I was checking out Lucky Star at my school library, and it was like, I had a couple other classmates that were like, no man, that's for girls, man, no man. It was like, I got it on both fronts, from like the football teams to my clothes and my food, stuff like that. And I got it from like my other fellow nerds that got but there was still like those pretty dope moments with like all my other fellow nerds, like just some other ones were like, no man, because like all this goofy stuff. But but he's right. There are a lot of people who do hold there are a lot of people who do hold on to what happened in my high school, and I was one of those people for like a long while until like I really like healed. I'm telling you, healed, and I really don't think about high school all that much no more. But I do often hear people that often hear people say like, "Oh yeah, I wish I could go back to high school. I would do things so differently," or they'd be like, you know, there's just interesting stuff like that. But yeah.
Whether that be the glory days or those be the bad days. It's been 10 years, bro. We don't care that you scored a touchdown in 10th grade. And yet...
And that's another one. It's like, you know, because like there's a lot of my classmates who play football. They were like the guys, and they didn't really go on to play like football, like past like the high school level, but even like community, even like college level. I think there's like one or two that did the college football, maybe, I don't know. But after that, not a whole lot of them went on to like try to have like super amazing careers like the NFL or whatever.
Yes, you may have been bullied in high school, but let that shit go, brother. My entire friend group is majorly made up of nerds. My best friend, this is us when we graduated, he was valedictorian. I was like maybe 4th in the class. Now he is most definitely considered a nerd. I mean, huge WWE fan, very into anime, loves video games, but he's never had a problem talking to black women. And big shout out to my boy. He just graduated from Clemson University, 2 years ago now? We just got off the game a few hours ago.
I feel like a big part of the black nerd experience is going back trying to watch your favorite YouTubers and realizing just how much racist commentary was throughout the entire video. Like, when did Jen calling Michael Jackson a monkey fly over my head? Huh? Or that one try not to laugh challenge where they just straight up said the N-word. Huh? And I really got a bone to pick with Pat Jen because I used to go crazy for some Pat. Like, you can ask around. We used to go crazy for some Pat Jen. Even now with pet sobriety, it was a black woman's video that I saw use this hashtag. Yet, okay. And not even just them, like other gaming channels and YouTubers too, especially in gaming. And I can already hear the whole
yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, it was a different time argument. I can get that. It's really the fact that black kids really never had a safe space. And I feel like that's why it's so easy for them to be indoctrinated into like the red pill pipeline. Because it was just small stuff in every single video that we could even like explore within like the nerd genre.
For example, like me growing up, the biggest gaming YouTuber in the world was PewDiePie. And you know, I watched his videos, but like it was just
PewDiePie. Yeah, I heard the guy out there. He's pretty much like, for all intents and purposes, he's just like retired. He lives in Japan now, and he got like a kid and everything. It's like that's the last I heard of him. I watched him like a couple videos, and I don't see the appeal. He's like a silly little guy, but you know, not really for me. But I heard about all the other stuff he was doing.
It was something off. I couldn't really connect with him. And this was before he had the whole N-word incident. But it was extremely rare for me to find another black gaming content creator. And this is why I give so much praise to creators like Berleezy, RDC World, Korean Extension. Because, bro,
for me, it was Andre, Black Nerd Comedy, who basically was like my inspiration in getting into YouTube in the first place. But yeah, he's putting out some old school YouTubers for like stuff like that.
Representation matters. And it's like growing up in these nerd spaces, we rarely get it. And that is why I love that with the visibility that TikTok brings in 2025, I've been finding some amazing like comic book creators that are making pro-black comics for black people, bruh.
This right here is my...
Yeah, that is absolutely true. When I'm on my For You page, I get a ton of black comic book creators and stuff like that, and just like people who do like independent work, and they're really just doing what they can. I really hate that they're not gonna. I really hate not saying that they're not going to, because they do some solid stuff. I just really, I wish they got more exposure. They like a lot of these creators don't have the deep pockets of like your Hulus, your Disneys, and stuff like that. Like Hulu, your Disneys, your Marvels, and et cetera, et cetera. So they can only do so much. But I wish that every last one of them nothing but the best of luck being able to like make their stuff come true.
Comic book known as the Black Fist, and this is one of the most popular series in the Battle Chi universe. Let's talk about it. Black Fist takes place in the 1960s. It's about a superpowered alien that piques the interest of a KKK Grand Wizard that fears he is a danger to the world and to his community.
I made a comic book. This is it. It's called Astro's Falter. Astro's is a supernatural, somewhat horror-themed comic series.
I love that.
With a comedic and cozy twist. The story takes place in this timeline and in this universe. It's a story about a girl who spends her entire life training against the invisible demons that roam our world, all before the magical seal keeping her invulnerable to demons begins to disappear.
Popeyes put garlic palm tenders, cheesy bites, and marinara sauce in a damn good Freddy Fazbear box.
Now, I ended up making a post on my Instagram. Make sure y'all go follow this, by the way. And I was curious.
I need to post more on Instagram.
On what was my black nerd's experience.
Being a black nerd was some crazy plot progression. If you liked any type of anime, niggas were gonna fry your shit alive. And the crazy thing about it is the same people that would be trying to clown you would be the same people trying to be in group projects with you and the same people trying to copy answers. But I'm not gonna lie, going to college was probably the best decision I ever made, bro, because I found my community here. There's a bunch of black nerds here, and we've shared things with each other, and you know.
Yeah, I don't regret going to college and, you know, getting involved with like all the things that I hadn't been involved with, like when it comes to like anime and gaming and stuff like that. It did teach me a lot. It just built, you know, got community people. Pretty dope, you know? I like it. And I got to indulge a lot more in my love of Power Rangers and Super Sentai and anime and adventures like MLP and stuff like that. And like, you know, it's like just things like that. I think it's really cool. And I really loved it. But even though it's been quite a long time, I'm just like, you know what? Even though it's been quite a long time and I still do keep in touch with some of the people that were in the anime club in my college. For the most part, like, you know, this is what it is, man. But I do love the community that was built there. There's a lot of good memories.
You know, I feel welcomed. I don't feel judged or anything like that, man. And, you know, people are a lot more accepting here. But to be honest with you, man, I've absolutely loved the journey. Like, this upcoming spring, 2026, I'm graduating with my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, bro. And we're going to med school after that. So, to all my black nerds out there, don't be afraid to be you, bro.
We really need to talk about the hatred for black women in the black nerd community, because a lot of black nerds, they like hang with white nerds, of course, and they want to be accepted by them. So then they just start shitting on black women and be like, yeah, they're ghetto, and just start.
Yeah, that's another thing I noticed too. There's a lot of like, this is it makes me sad. And then there's the same people that like whine and complain they can't find like girls and stuff like that, you know. And you know, oh, the black girls didn't like me because like anime. It's like, you know, because you went around like taking a dump on them, and you know, oh, it's like not like you went around like being like cruel and nasty toward like black women. It's like, you know, this is weird. I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know, man. You would think that, you know, you could like become friends with black girls or, you know, stuff like that. You could actually like talk to black girls. Like, you know, you can't, you know, they're gonna call you out. Just, I don't know, it's just weird. I just think it's just really weird. And I just think it's really weird, like a lot of dudes will do that and all they're allowed to get over, they're too aggressive. Like, you know, I feel like there's kind of that overlap with the Red Pill nonsense and stuff like that. It's a lot. It truly is a lot that goes into like what I'm thinking.
Talking shit about them, right? And then also talk bad about women in general. A lot of nerds, they can't get girls, so you know, talk shit about them. And also along with the Red Pill community, because
see,
a lot of the nerds, they want to get their anime physique, so they start watching those workout videos, and then those.
That is true. There's a lot of people who, I say this often, Dragon Ball probably is one of the biggest catalysts of martial arts. The people getting into martial arts because they want to be strong like Goku, they want to be strong like Vegeta, they want to be strong like Gohan or stuff like that. They unlock the potential like Gohan and XYZYX. So much motivational content that has anime and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this and that. It's like, oh, this, you know. Like, I see it all the time in like fitness, on fitness YouTube, fitness TikTok, XYZYX, and it can be like productive if you're recognizing that, you know, you want to get fit and you want to get fit, you want to feel better, you want to look better. But like when you start using it as like a cudgel to basically say I'm better than you, and you need to validate it, and you go wah. When no one validates it, it's like, okay, great, you look great, you look like great body transformation, like, and then just move on with their life, and they're not validating you constantly, you know. Then it's like, oh yeah, It's like, you have to do it though. Gosh, you have to do anything. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of, like, you know, when people do that, and it just gets unproductive.
Workout videos turn into how to get girls videos, and also turns into hating women videos.
My experience being a black nerd is a bit different from other people. Not only
Hey yo, I see them Rangers back there. It's the Samurai Red. I'm gonna get nerdy on you real quick. You see this? Do you see this? This is a spin sword, even though it technically doesn't spin. But do you see it? I see the Rangers back there. Soon, or very, very soon, I'm trying to decide which Rangers I want to cosplay next. Do I want Red Samurai or do I want Red RPM? I don't know. This is one or the other. I'm leaning more towards Red Samurai, but I see the Rangers back there.
because of the era that I grew up in, but also because of the environment. With me being a 2000s kid, I was never really feeling ostracized for being a nerd because nerdy shit was everywhere. And I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in lower income neighborhoods, and there were a lot of black folks within those neighborhoods. So a lot of us bonded over these things that would be looked at as nerdy. There's a reason that schools would ban Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's a reason schools would ban all.
That is true. Like, you know, there have been Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards. You couldn't do like cross chops like D-Generation X because like you know you would get expelled. You get expelled. Well, maybe some people did, but you get suspended and stuff like that if you did like any of those.
All the Bakugan toys and Beyblades, and I'm sure every kid that grew up in the 2000s had that feeling of watching a cartoon on Saturday morning and holding in that excitement when Monday came. Everyone couldn't wait to gather around the lunch table and talk about the latest episode of Dragon Ball or Sonic X or whatever was on Saturday.
That is true. Like Sonic X was another one for me. Hey, watching Sonic X, or because again, this big Sonic nerd right here. I always joke and say this isn't a Sonic channel, but yeah, I would talk about. I will play like I would have a lot of love for Sonic.
Saturday morning at that time. But what I'm trying to get at is there was never really a point in time where being a nerd worked against me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit of a social butterfly. I would hang with the theater kids, I would hang with the anime nerds, the music heads that would rap at the lunch tables. I was bouncing around and talking to
You got them Rangers in the background. I'm distracted.
everybody. I can't really think of a point in time where liking anime or liking comic books or liking video games, whatever, I can't think of a time where that wasn't cool, especially when the second anime boom happened in the 2010s. If anything, that point in time worked in my favor. Because a lot of black folks who weren't into anime or anything at that time, they knew someone who was. So they would approach me and ask me, hey, what's up with Naruto? What's Attack on Titan about? I heard Dragon Ball is coming back. What's Dragon Ball Super about? If there was someone who wasn't caught up with the latest geekdom, fandom news, they came to me because they knew someone who was. And as far as being a black nerd specifically goes, I don't think there was ever a time where if someone did shame me for being a nerd, it didn't make me want to question whether or not I wanted to be around other black people. I never thought that black people didn't like anything that I was into. That's just ridiculous. But even if you don't know black people who are nerds, you know at least one black person who watched Dragon Ball Z. They may not know
That is true.
jack shit about Power Rangers, but
Yeah, that's actually something interesting when it comes to Power Rangers. This has a unique case. It has a unique position for a lot of people. Because I've said this many times throughout the history of this channel, that most people, when they talk about Power Rangers, they talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like he said, he's a 2000s kid, so 2009, 2010, he probably grew up watching Power Rangers Samurai. So yeah, he did grow up watching Power Rangers Samurai. Power Rangers Samurai was is a lot of people's Mighty Morphin. I see a lot of love for it. I see a lot of love for it on social media, and so like there's that. But a lot of people's like kind of split. They love Mighty Morphin, but they don't like the other seasons because their whole thing is Mighty Morphin, because like that was the one that was the start of the franchise and stuff like that. And then there's other people that like, oh, that's weird. That's like get those occasional people that absolutely did not like Power Rangers. They never understood the appeal of Power Rangers. It's like, oh, or try to like. And then they try to make you feel bad for liking Power Rangers because they didn't understand the appeal. Like, yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. You're lame. You're lame, son. But also, there's also, what else was there? But I think it's like with Power Rangers, like now I can kind of talk about it a little more openly. You know, I can talk about it a little more openly, or when I was cosplaying SPD Red Ranger or OG Red Ranger or Dino Fury Red Ranger. There's a lot of people that will come up to me at conventions and take pictures, or they would like, oh yeah, we love that, or they would talk about, or you know, all kinds of stuff with me about Power Rangers, and I think that's really cool. And that's really cool to have now, and I can have there's like a big community of like Ranger content creators, stuff like that I can talk with on social media, on Twitter, despite me not trying to be on that site for too long. But yeah, I thought that was all really cool. But I also feel like that's another thing when it comes to like being nerdy. It's like, you know, a lot of people used to like really despise Power Rangers, but now like Power Rangers got that surge, even though the series has ended. And Super Sentai to follow suit once Ghost User ends, and written Project Red. There's still a lot of love for like all of it.
I bet you they know what happened with Goku versus Frieza.
All my black nerds come experience in the comment section. Did you have a similar experience? I am curious. Also, we hit 90,000 subscribers. Yo, we getting so close to 100K. We closing in on the year 2025, and I low-key want to clutch this 100K before the year ends. So if you made it to the end right here and you're not subscribed and you enjoyed the video, subscribe. What you doing? Also, turn the post notifications on. No more talking. If you want to see something similar to this, go check out how woke lost its real meaning, man. It got gentrified.